Catch point at the end of a siding? What's all that about? Let me explain. Imagine a scenario here where the line at the back is the running line and this is a siding. You've got a point here leading off to some more sidings, and then you've got a point where the siding meets the main running line. If you had a wagon sitting on the siding and it ran away, it would interfere with the main line. A train comes along and it hits it. For that reason, where you have a siding that leads on to a running line, to protect the traffic, you have one of these. Now we call them catch points. If this wagon were to run away, it becomes derailed. And whilst it might make a bit of a mess of the contents, it stays clear of the running line. Now, technically, this is a trap point. It traps anything that tries to escape. We call them catch points because the same unit doubles up and serves both, but they're actually trap points. This is the goods loop here at Yarslow, and those two over there are the main line where the coach is sitting. Now, in theory, you would have a trap point where this siding meets the main line, but in fact what we've got here is a long siding. So anything standing on this line here, an engine or a train or just a wagon that tried to escape, could be diverted by the signalman through this turnout here and onto this line and avoid the main line. Sometimes you'll see these sidings terminating about here, and this, I think, is the correct term, is a blind siding. It just gives that signalman the opportunity to stop an accident. Here is the point that serves the loco shed on the rising branch, and you'll see there is another trap point, making sure that anything that's in the engine shed behind the Class 20 can't escape, because the signalman can protect the main running line. So if they're trap points, what's a catch point? Well, a catch point avoids a situation where a runaway vehicle comes down a gradient and either crashes into something coming up the gradient or crashes into whatever's at the bottom of the gradient. So in theory, I should have a catch point in this gradient here, so that if a coupling broke on the train hauled by the Class 20 and wagon started to run down, they would be derailed by this catch point here. That catch point catches runaway wagons. Now I haven't got a catch point in here because at the end of the branch there is a siding that leads off to the signal box, and so runaway wagons can be diverted down this line and they'll hit the buffer stops. Note that to protect any vehicles that are in this siding from coming out into the running line and fouling the running line, which is the branch, is this one here, is a trap point. Right at the front of Yarslow Yard is the coal siding. This is the goods loop. Here's the main lines over here. And here you can see at the end of this siding it joins onto the goods loop. Now, why don't I need a catch point or a trap point here? Well, that's because this is not a running line. This is a goods line that's used simply to shunt goods trains or to hold goods trains prior to their departure. It is not technically a running line, and therefore I argue I don't need a trap point here. Now for modelers, where we've got trains coming out of the storage yard or we've got formations that are technically off scene, we don't need trap points because we're not trying to protect real trains from real accidents. But where we've got main lines and we're trying to replicate what the real railway did, I would strongly advocate planning some trap points into your design, either by way of blind sidings, by way of run-off sidings like this, or by using the catch point units. So there you are, catch points and trap points. I hope you'll see that it's not just another unit to buy and another point motor to wire up. The real railways use them. If we're going to replicate what the real railways did, then we're obliged to put these trap points in. I hope that clarifies when they were used and why, and I'll see you soon.